What are you looking to see early from Ronda Rousey in this one? Are there signs that you're going to see early on that maybe will indicate one way or another if she's lost it, if she's the Rousey of old early on in this fight? What do you expect?
I think one, if she doesn't put her away quickly, that would be a bad sign. Not ultimately. I mean, she's gone to multiple rounds before. Liz Carmouche, Misha Tate. You get the idea. So that it's going in an extra round is probably okay. And in fact, Amanda Nunes does not have necessarily like world-renowned cardio. On the other hand, part of me feels like I want to see what she was doing before, like getting out there and just making quick work. The other part of me feels like that might get her into trouble as well. I guess what I'm saying is that she's avoiding physical damage. If she can avoid physical damage, she's probably going to be in good shape.
What do you think as far as look? Anytime you're fighting against Ronda Rousey, that opponent knows what she's going up against. But in this case, we have the champion defending her title, and yet no one's even really talking about Amanda Nunes. How do you think that's going to affect or impact her approach to this fight?
Well, I mean, in the fact that she's had a media blackout, I think is probably pretty good for her, right? I don't think she asked for it by accident. It's what she wanted. She wanted to avoid having to. I mean, I don't want to speak for her, but having to answer for some of those questions, I suppose. And I think the fact that she hasn't had to do that will definitely make things better for Ronda Rousey. The problem is, though, that it's brought sort of a general shade over Amanda Nunes as well. Question is it good for her too? Part of me feels like it's going to be bad if she wins because the UFC hasn't really invested enough in like a pivot point to make full use if Amanda Nunes emerges victorious. But in the sense that neither had to deal with a ton of media, given how big the bout is, that's probably going to work to both of their benefits.
If Ronda Rousey loses this fight, I mean, what does that mean for the sport? What does it mean for her career? Is she done? What happens if she does somehow lose this?
If she somehow loses it, and again, I don't think that's the likeliest of outcomes, but it's not unlikely necessarily all that much either. Um, Even Dana White was saying if she loses, that's probably going to be it. I can't, and especially if she loses in a way that Amanda Nunes puts people away. I mean, she doesn't go in there and just sort of like jab you to death. She usually does things with a fair degree of violence. So if that happens, two losses in a row, right? You had all that time off in between fights, and she looked phenomenal at the weigh-ins. She had time to like get right, didn't have to answer to the media. If you can't win under those circumstances, maybe you can't win at all. I mean, again, I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but if it gets to that kind of scenario, it would be very problematic for her long-term participation in mixed martial arts.